Less is more. This is a concept the UFC just doesn't seem to understand. I'm sitting here on a calm Saturday afternoon, and there's a UFC fight card on right now, and I literally don't know anybody on the card. And it's not because I'm a casual. I watch every single fight card, but this card sucks. The UFC pretty much does an event every single Saturday, but the problem is these cards are usually terrible. There's no significant fighters on them, and they just suck. They suck to watch, and maybe there's some secret bangers on the card, but there's no substance to it. What am I doing here? I'm paying to go watch these fight night cards. For what? For the chance that there might be a banger fight on there? Here's the thing about fights between significant fighters. Even if the performance isn't crazy entertaining, the personality of the fighter still is. But on these fight nights, these are a bunch of no-name, no-personality fighters that nobody cares about. UFC needs to cut the amount of fight night cards that they do. I would much rather have just 2 cards a month that are super high quality than 4 cards a month that they're mid. Most of them are mid. 3 out of the 4 of them are mid, and then there's one good one. The UFC is incredibly oversaturated with just mid fights, mid content, and mid fighters as well. Fighters don't even care about developing their personality anymore. It's super rare whenever there's a fighter that actually has a tiny amount of personality. That's why Sean Strickland became so popular. A real fighter with a real personality. And look, I won't lie though, I do appreciate all the fights that we're given, but I've been bombarded with just mid fights that I don't care about. And I consider myself not a hardcore fan, but a huge MMA fan. I've been a fan of MMA for about 8 years now. I watch nearly every single card, and I just keep getting heartbroken. You know, I'll be watching just a random fight night card, and I'm like, this is so boring. I don't care about the fighters, I don't care about the fight, and you guys can call me a casual all you want, but you can't pretend like you're super invested in these fights. You can't pretend. And it's not because they're new fighters or low-level fighters. Think of someone like Paddy Pimblett. He had a large following before he entered into the UFC. He was entertaining because it was entertaining to see, okay, this guy has a great personality, a unique look. Let's see how he does in the UFC. Same with Low Blow Nickel. He was another fighter I was really excited to see come into the UFC. He's a great NCAA wrestler. I'm like, okay, let's see how he does. So the problem is the fighters. They're not entertaining. They don't make anyone care about their fights. It's not the UFC's job to sell your fight. It's the fighter's job to do it. Even though the UFC still tries to sell the fights. And then what do the fighters do? They go to the press conference and they're like, I think I'm gonna win on Saturday, and I don't let my words talk. I let my punches talk. What is that? This is why fighters need to be paid less money. We need to cut fighter pay. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, that's a little too far. But seriously, the reason why these cards feel so boring, so uninteresting, is because no one cares about any of the fighters on there, except for the hardcore, mega hardcore fans, there's about like 3 of them. So, but what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me? Or am I just a giga, mega casual? Or do you realize, you know, it is true. You don't care about that. You gotta recognize these feelings that you're feeling. You have to admit it. I'm not interested in these boring fights, these boring fighters. So if you agreed with me, please like, comment, subscribe to the LCFC YouTube channel. If you disagreed with me, you're wrong. Goodbye.